This video was brought to you by Dashlane. Welcome back guys to Voicey here and another r/entitled parents. Entitled parents are so negligent that even a trip to get their kids ice cream could prove deadly. Just wait until you see her reaction after those around her try to help. Don't forget Voicey veterans to like, subscribe and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story was called "EM may have killed her child because she wouldn't listen." I work in an ice cream parlor in a tourist zone of my town. Weekends are an absolute nightmare for us because of the sheer amount of people coming in. On one special and magic day, EM comes in with 3 kids. There was nothing about her that could have warned me that she was a Karen. 2 of her kids looked not much older than 5. I'm really bad at guessing people's age, especially kids. And the other one couldn't have been older than 3. The kids were, as expected, attracted to our most colourful choices of ice cream. All of them are almost pure sugar and chemical flavours. The older kids asked for 2 scoops, and I know for a fact 2 scoops is too much for them, since our serving sizes are usually huge. So I tell the mum I'll make 1 scoop and she'll see whether or not she wants to pay for 2. She insisted I do whatever her kids want, so I obliged. I don't care if you pay $7 on a cone, your kid won't even eat half of it. The real problem came when the youngest kid, a cute little girl, wanted the blue ice cream, bubblegum. I warned EM that the bubblegum ice cream contains full-sized bubblegums, and there is a risk of choking for small kids. She responded something along those lines.
"Oh, it's okay, she's old enough, and anyway, there was no warning, so I'm sure you're exaggerating."
I show her one of the bubblegums. EM gets frustrated.
"Just don't put any in her ice cream."
It's impossible, they are already in the ice cream, and I can't guarantee there won't be any in the scoops I give her.
"I don't care, just give her what she wants or I'll make a complaint."
My manager is the sweetest boss I've ever had, and she will always back up her employees when a client acts entitled. So it wasn't much of a threat. Yet I still gave her the ice cream because I was only 2 hours into my shift and I had 6 hours more coming, and I didn't want any drama this early. As soon as little girl got her ice cream, she went to join her brothers who were on the other side of the shop, eating their super kid ice creams. When it was time to pay, EM started arguing about the prices. Keep in mind, I warned her about the price of her son's cones earlier. I guess she wasn't interested in the saying of a low-life ice cream parlor employee.
"Impossible! 4 ice creams cannot be worth that much! You're trying to scam me!"
I'm sorry man, but those are our prices. The prices on the boards behind me do not include the taxes.
"I don't care about the taxes! How can 4 ice creams be worth $26?
Well, your sons both took 2 scoops, which is $6 each, plus they took waffle cones, which are $1 each. So already we're at $14. You took 2 scoops on a sugar cone, so $6.75, and your daughter had 1 scoop for $4.25, plus extra candies of $1. It gives a total of $26.
"This is ridiculous! Who charges for the waffle cones anyway? Those regular cones are disgusting! No one wants that! The cones should be free!"
I'm sorry ma'am, but I don't do the prices. This is what it is. Now, will you pay with cash or card? I was harsh enough in my tone that she understood she wouldn't win this argument with me. She got out a card and pouted.
"I'll pay Visa."
While she was taking her sweet time, I just happened to look around the line of customers waiting, and something caught my eyes, and my heart sank. LG was as blue as her ice cream, and her brother was frantically slapping her in the back, trying to help her. I flew over the counter and pushed oblivious people aside to reach the poor girl. I bent down and told her I was going to try to help. I will never forget the look in her eyes. She was desperate. I immediately started the Heimlich procedure. I looked at my coworker dead in the eyes and yelled, "Go call an ambulance!" I told a regular customer who was a friend with my boss, "Go get Julie," fake name. As I was still trying to save LG, I started to panic. She still wasn't breathing. Then EM came up to me and started yelling at me. I was too focused on my task to hear her, but my coworker said she was yelling that I was hurting her daughter. She even tried to stop me, but a customer who knew I was doing the best I could stopped her. My manager finally arrived and jumped on her knees next to me. She asked me to hand LG over. I did. LG was as limp as a rag doll by that time. My manager jammed a finger in LG's mouth and successfully dislodged the freaking bubblegum out of LG's throat. My manager is a retired nurse. She knew what she was doing. LG coughed and gasped, but she wasn't responsive. She was breathing, but her eyes were half closed. She wasn't crying like a 3-year-old would after such a traumatic event. EM just stood there yelling at us, not once trying to reach and hug her own daughter. My manager held LG and tried to communicate with her.
What did you do to my baby girl?
Me, very angry from the experience.
She was choking. Liar, she's a big girl now. She knows how to eat. You just assaulted her.
I was doing the Heimlich procedure, you moron. I stood up, angry, not willing to take any more crap from that EM. She choked on a bubblegum and I warned you about the danger. EM was shocked by my extreme anger and took a step back. I guess my yelling got the attention of the dad, who was waiting outside because he suddenly appeared out of nowhere, asking what was going on. EM walked behind him and said,
"This girl assaulted our daughter and now she's trying to attack me."
"What? Where is LG?" I pointed to her and said, "She's over there. She was choking on a bubblegum and I tried to help." The dad was apparently a way better parent than EM because he rushed to his daughter and held her in his arms. The paramedic arrived and examined her. She was still in crisis. Her brain was without oxygen for who knows how long. While the paramedic was working on her, the police also arrived. Apparently EM had called them during the panic. EM tried to convince them that I assaulted LG, but every customer present at the scene along with the employees and camera were there to back me up. Then she changed her story and claimed that I purposefully gave LG a dangerous ice cream without warning her. But again, I had proof that I showed her a bubblegum. And the camera also shows her "I don't care" gesture. Dad was livid at EM. He yelled at her that this is all her fault, that she was always like that, and that this time she went too far. "You almost killed her. Would it kill you to give a crap about them for once?" I'm assuming he meant their kids. EM started crying and saying that it wasn't her fault, that I was the one who hurt LG. Dad got in the ambulance with LG and EM, got a fine for calling the police under false claims. She left with her 2 sons looking down. I think she had just realized what had happened, because she was pale as a ghost. I don't know what happened to LG, and I never really asked my manager if EM sued our shop for the event or not, but I was traumatized for weeks. Having someone's life in your hands is not a glorious feeling at all, especially a young kid like LG. I have a small hope that she is fine, but I still remember her lying lifeless as the paramedics tried to talk to her. I feel so guilty for giving her the ice cream. Imagine looking for a job. You're like, I don't want anything too crazy, nothing with too much drama. I know, I'll serve ice cream to people. That'll bring joy to everyone, including kids. Not when entitled parents come in. Basically, it then becomes a life or death situation. That would actually be incredibly terrifying though. If you've ever done a first aid course, one of the first things they always tell you is like, yeah, we do this method now, we used to do that method 5 years ago, but not anymore. It's like, great, well, is this the right method that you're teaching me now? Is that gonna change again? It doesn't give you a lot of confidence going into a life or death situation. The best thing's always just to call the pros in. This story was called EM Calls Police on Public Library, Gets Detained. In the cast, me, Police Officer 1 and 2, Entitled Mother, and Good Stepmom. This happened yesterday and we have a meeting about it later today. I work for a library in a small rural town. We have a policy if anyone calls or comes in looking for someone, we're not allowed to tell them if they are here or not, or where they can find them. This is for cases if someone is looking to fight someone, or a rando is looking for a child that may or may not be theirs. Now with that logic in place, let's set the scene. I was working circulation last night, and around 6 PM, we get a call. I answer. "Hello, this is a non-county library, how can I help you?"
"Yes, I'm looking for my daughter."
Gives a brief description of child.
"She should be there, she came in with another lady."
"Sorry ma'am, we're not allowed to tell you who's here or not, as we cannot verify that you are who you claim to be."
"What?"
"We cannot tell you if a child is here because we cannot verify you are the parent."
"What the heck?"
She pauses and gets distant. I hear her yell to somebody in the background.
"They won't tell me if she's there because they can't verify I'm the parent of my own gosh darn daughter."
She abruptly hangs up the phone. Since we're the only 2 there for closing for the night, I tell my coworker we might get an angry lady in looking for a child. She already knows we can't tell her anything. What's important is that she is at reference while I'm at circ. She basically looks after study rooms and computer labs while I look at the stacks so no one can watch desk. And sure enough, around 10 to 15 minutes later, EM huffs into the place.
"Where's my daughter?"
"This is a library, ma'am. You need to lower your voice or you need to leave. And I told you on the phone, we are not allowed to tell you who is here, but you can have a look around."
Don't tell me to lower my gosh darn voice. I'm looking for my daughter. Now where is she?
Again, I cannot tell you. Now lower your voice and stop cussing, or I'll be forced to call the police to escort you out of the building. Little side note, our library is next to the police station, like directly across, we're neighbors. EM gets quiet and huffs around the place. We are not that big, so it takes about 5 minutes to look everywhere. Once she's finished, she comes back and this is where crap really hits the fan.
I couldn't find my daughter out there. I'm gonna check back there.
She points at the entrance to the staff-only back room for desk workers. Ma'am, you cannot go back there. There is only 2 of us working and I cannot allow you back there. In the first place, it would be a liability.
My daughter could be back there.
Unlikely, as you'd have to have keys to open the door. Ma'am, the final answer is no. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. You are being disruptive and disturbing the peace.
No, I'm calling the police. You are holding my daughter hostage.
What the? EM proceeds to actually call the police while I sit there dumbfounded. About 5 minutes later, 3 police cars arrive for a retrieval of a child who wasn't there. As they walk in, EM started screeching.
They have my daughter locked up in the back and won't let her out.
Police officer looks confused because we're a public library, so I have to explain what's happening and unlock the staff-only door for them to search, just in case. EM smirks and says,
Was that so hard, you freaking idiot?
Lady, there's no one back here. Do you know where your daughter was last?
She was here last, and this jerk wouldn't tell me if she was here or not.
Our policy is we can't tell you if someone is here, but you are free to look around. We do this to prevent people looking for their drug dealer, or looking for a specific person to fight, or in the case of children, so they are not abducted. We can't confirm you are the parent. Photos don't help because we don't know if they are not allowed to see the child because of violation issues from divorce or loss of custody. In this case, it was the very last option. The police officer just shakes her head. Did he tell you this already?
Yes, but...
She starts to choke up. At this point, a woman and a girl walk in with snacks and a drink from the gas station, a couple blocks down. The good stepmother started to yell, "Why the heck are you here? Did you come here to see..." Child's name. Are you insane? We've discussed this many times with the father. You can't be popping up trying to see the child.
But I miss my baby, I wanted to see her.
You lost that right when you left her in a car to buy drugs and you disappeared for hours. You are lucky she's even here. EM starts to bawl. The officers split up and talk to the good mother, while the others detain EM to see if she needs to be arrested. Have you ever been to a library and not seen some really weird people? It's like it's a magnet for them. I don't know if it's because it's a public space, but it's like every time I go to a library, there's always some weirdo there. And who's weirder than an entitled parent? Dashlane makes the internet way faster and more fun. How often are you ready to buy something but you don't have your credit card handy? Dashlane means you never have to have your credit card on you. How often do you forget or reset your password? You'll never forget or reset a password again with Dashlane. For anything that requires filling out forms online, from checkouts to taxes, from buying airline tickets to applying for a job, Dashlane has you covered with one-click autofill. It also works across all devices and browsers, so wherever you go, your passwords go with you. Click on the link in the description below to get your 30-day free trial of Dashlane Premium, and use the coupon code VoiceyHere at dashlane.com/VoiceyHere to get 10% off Dashlane Premium, but only for the first 200 people. This story was called Entitled Dad Doesn't Understand How Yard Sales Work. So, a few years ago, I went to a fantastic private high school to avoid all my old tormentors who went to my public school. Regardless of what religion you are, the fact that the school was a Catholic high school will be important later, so bear with me. Now, let me tell you why my family always marks our equipment with our names and not for sale stickers. Every year, we have an annual garage sale to support the local community. People bring in gently used stuff from clothes to toys as donations. We sell them super cheap, and the profits jointly benefit the school and local charities. Win-win scenario for all involved. My family handles the bikes, since my mum used to be a triathlete and could repair a bike blindfolded. Our bikes usually go for $15 to $30, and we bring all our maintenance equipment to do last-minute fixes on bikes and whatnot. So I'm casually playing a now defunct game on my phone, and my mum is cleaning a spare tire when EP approaches and starts looking at our bike selection. That's our cue to put on our happy salesperson faces. Patent pending. Thankfully, he doesn't ask any questions we need to answer, and seems to be looking more at the collection of bikes in our maintenance area. After a few minutes of looking, he seems to make a decision and points to the bike repair stand we use to hold the bikes up when we fix them.
Yeah, how much for that? I don't see a price tag.
Mum and I chuckle. I decide to speak up. Oh, that's ours. We use it to help fix the bikes. It's not for sale.
But this is a sale, right?
Yeah.
Well, if this is a sale, and it's here with the sale, then it must be for sale. I'll give you $30 for it.
I take a moment to stand there dumbfounded, probably making a surprised Pikachu face before it was even a meme. His logic made some sense, but, well, by that logic, all the tables, lockers in the hallway, and people at the sale are also available for purchase. Thankfully, my mum, who might as well be an anti-Karen weapon, steps in. Sorry sir, but this equipment I brought from home to maintain the bikes is not for sale.
But it's a sale, so…
Are the tables in the gym for sale? No. Are the lockers for sale? No. Some things just are not for sale here, so please either buy a bike or let the other customers browse in peace.
Fine.
And he leaves in a huff. After that, we stuck a piece of tape labeled "Not for Sale" and our last name on the bike stand. We had a quick chuckle about it, but not 10 minutes later, a young boy comes up. Poor kid couldn't have been more than 7, innocent and pure as freshly fallen snow.
How much is that? Dad told me to come over here and buy it since you weren't selling it to him.
I don't know whether to laugh at the child's innocent confession or cry at the father's idiocy. We point out the not for sale tape and send him on his merry way towards the toy section. 15 minutes later, EP returns, again. This time with more serious backup. Remember how I said it was a Catholic school? EP brought a nun with him. Now, anyone who's been taught by a woman of the cloth knows the golden rule: never anger the nun. Sister D, as I'll refer to her as, is usually one of the sweetest, kindest people you'll meet. She also has a normal intimidation factor of 0, given that she stands at around 4 foot 3 inches and looks like she just turned 98. But those of us in the music department know she can be commanding, loud, and occasionally downright terrifying. Even as I type this, I'm half expecting a holy lightning bolt to fry my butt. Regardless of whether the big guy is real or not, you still don't want to cross her. This is a big mistake for EP, since A, I'm one of the best, nicest students in the school, and B, me and my family do a lot of work to help the elderly sisters in their daily lives, and are well in their good graces. And C, Sister D also saw us unloading our bike equipment.
There, they won't sell me or my son that bike stand, look! They even put that not for sale sticker on it so they can take it home themselves. I wanted it first.
I casually waved to Sister D and leaned back in my chair to watch the fireworks. Mum, on the other hand, is ticked. Fine, you really want to buy it from me? The stand cost $1,000, that's my asking price. Sister D starts getting the picture, turns to EP.
You mean to tell me you dragged me halfway across the building because you wanted to buy someone else's property?
But this is a sale, so it must be for sale, and I want it.
Mum and Sister D simultaneously.
Get out!
Huh?
You heard me. Out. I don't want you harassing the volunteers for their personal belongings. We have every right to refuse you, so go, don't come back until next year.
Mum takes on a stern stance, glaring at EP. I'm barely keeping the laughs in, and people are watching. Realizing he's beat, EP offers one final parting shot before heading home.
But it's a sale!
A normal person. Hey, I'd like to buy that thing. I'm sorry, that's not for sale. Oh, my bad, sorry. Maybe I'll go look at some of the bikes to buy. An entitled parent? Yeah, they're gonna spend the next hour trying to make your life miserable to try and get their way. Even bringing in a 98-year-old nun as an authority figure to bully them into doing what he wants. May God have mercy on his soul. Post your stories, memes, and fan art at r/VoiceyHere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. Alright, Voicey veterans, I'll see you in the next one.